Hello, Mr. Amigos, your Story Store patron. We're back with another episode of Major Minor Mobile Edition. Where last left off, I'm pretty sure we ended up into the place where Clace's boss was going to tell us what's going to happen now since Clace is dead. So let's see how it goes. I walked back to the center of the room and looked around. It appears that everyone is anxious and restless. It must have been a long night for them all. But the answers are so close, so we all hold out together. I scanned the room a few times over. An eerie silence fills the area. I feel like perhaps I should break it. But before I can do anything, the large doors open. Someone walks out and exchanges glances with everyone. This must be Singe and the conference room entrance.
Thank you all for coming here today. Even though we had no sleep, I'm honored that you chose to be here.
He bows to us, much like Rocker.
In a few minutes, the press will come. The doors will be unlocked for everyone. I'd be honored if you came in first. I like for all of us to be on stage. I want us to appear united in this crisis. As a team, with nothing between us. We endured a tragedy. We need to show the world our strength. We are a family, even in grief. Our public image is very important now. We must remain as resolute as possible. We cannot have anything falter today. Please come and take your seats with me. We will begin as soon as the room fills up.
He bows again and goes back into the conference hall. Not a moment later, we all start to follow him, unsure of what the conference has in store, and unsure of what shocking truths await the world. The morning after the tavern incident... Oh, what is this nice and fancy place?
I'm sorry.
I forget his voice.
I'm sorry, this is a lot to take in. Would you mind starting from the beginning? I haven't had any morning coffee just yet. My mind is cloudy, to say the least.
You're not the only one who's taken aback. These events shocked me as well, my lord. I'll apologize for keeping my agenda hidden. You would have never endorsed my actions, even if they were for the greater good. So I had to take things into my own hands.
Of course, and I still don't believe it. Andy and Conrad are my trusted allies. I laugh at the notion of their betrayal. I never dedicate resources to that. Yet here we are in the present. You have evidence backing your claim.
Of course, I always validate my word. Last night, I ventured into the tavern. Andy and Conrad were there as well, but they had someone with them, an immigrant from another world, one they will not be giving to you. In fact, they are bringing him to Vasquez. This directly violates your truce. Were they not to bring everyone to you? You're keeping tabs on this immigration.
Yes, that was the plan, Riley. All of it should go through me. Easier to keep track of that way. Is there any chance you misheard things? Perhaps they use Vasquez as a cover, just in case anybody overheard.
Impossible. They filled the paperwork. This immigrant is now fully sanctioned. They violated the truce, my lord.
Indeed. This is irrefutable proof. It's impossible for me to work with that. This immigrant is now in the records. But I wonder, what does Vasquez want? Of all people, he wants an immigrant. They must be quite an important person.
Of that I'm sure. But I feel like it's irrelevant. No explanation can excuse betrayal. And you know Vasquez's stance on that. He's too friendly to those off-worlders. I'm glad I was able to open your eyes.
You're right, and I appreciate that. But my curiosity is affecting me. Just who could this immigrant be? My two main allies would betray me, and the king wants to see them personally. There might be more here than meets the eye.
Again, I'm not sure. But you could ask them yourself. Well, shut the fuck up, dude. It's so obvious that this is very suspicious to him. I did what you would have wanted, my lord. I took action after seeing this betrayal. It was either that, or let them win. I paid this off-worlder a visit. One thing led to another, however. They ended up passing out. It was unfortunate, of course, but an opportunity presented itself. I took them. They're in our prison, along with the other immigrants.
What? Riley, how could you be so foolish? I cannot believe what you're telling me. Do you realize what you've done? You abducted a legal immigrant, one that was wanted by the king. Vasquez will have us under scrutiny. You keep coming to me with revelations. First, it was that Kaylin worked for Righty, but then you go and do this to us. We'll have 2 assassins target us, under the pressure of the royal mission too, and everything was going good for once. I cannot believe you would do this. Discretion was our greatest ally, Riley. 2 guilds will soon be upon us.
Riley, you dumbass. Please, my lord, I can explain. There must have been a lapse in...
Silence! Your judgment. Trust me, this was far worse than a lapse. If I didn't trust you, I'd almost think...
And then the next minute, he's being choked by Riley. Blair stops in the middle of his sentence. At that point, he comes to a shocking realization.
You wanted me to get caught.
And then he's being choked by Riley. We all file into the conference room, one by one. Everyone brings their sense of anxiety with them. It isn't long until we reach the stage area. It's lined with enough seats to fit us all. We stare onwards, at the empty room before us. Soon, it will be filled with those who seek answers. Fans, press, and everyone in between. There were a common goal among them. Enlightenment. I sit on the far right side, with Keela to my left. Then there's Acheron, Singe, Shock, and Rocker. A woman with long yellow hair is there as well. Oh hey, it's over 9,000, girl! Inumi sits beside her, with Rook to his left. It seems like everyone is here, save for Jade. But when the doors open, people spill in. Sure enough, she's among the press and citizens. It seems like Acheron and Singe are getting along. They're lost in conversation among themselves. I would have started the conference long ago. But Singe is probably waiting for latecomers. After a while, he picks up his microphone. It appears that every seat on the stage has their own. Would I be expected to talk during this? I sure hope not. The moment Singe speaks, the crowd becomes silent.
I'd like to.
He cuts himself off. There's extreme feedback coming from the mic. Some in the audience cover their ears.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I know it's early, but this had to be done. A longer wait means more restlessness, and that means filling in the blanks. I've called you here to be fully open. Something has hurt us profoundly. We'll carry it with us forever. It'll scar us for years to come. So please, be respectful. There will be no flash photography today. Or recording of any videos for that matter. However, audio recording is an exception. I understand some of you need notes, especially the members of the press. But this is as far as we can go. With that said, I will now begin. I relay this news with a heavy heart. Last night, our own idol passed away. At midnight, Clace was murdered.
The audience starts talking amongst themselves. I see several people scribbling down on notepads.
The cause of death was...
Why the big word?
But it was under mysterious circumstances. It implies suicide. That can't be true. Clace was not the type to do this, especially so close to the tour launch. It's an impossibility. Please disregard it. With that said, I will take questions, but please remain considerate today. Remember, we are in a state of grief.
Oh, fuck.
Singe, sir, I have a question if you're willing.
By all means, Fukimoto. Feel free to ask whatever you like.
You mentioned the method of death. Is a mysterious circumstance. Exactly how is mysterious? A lack of oxygen is not mysterious. I'm afraid I'm a little confused.
The rest of the audience start nodding in agreement, as if this was the question on all their minds.
You are correct. I'm glad you asked, and I hope you ask the same to the police. They hastily branded this as suicides. Clace had markings around his neck. They implied the use of a noose, but there was no noose at the scene.
Well then, that is definitely odd. Thank you for answering my question.
Fukimoto returns to his seat. I'm surprised he didn't twist any of Singe's words.
This is why the official ruling is odd. The lack of evidence is very suspicious, and it implies several possibilities. The body may have been moved post-mortem, or the culprit made off with the evidence. Both point to the same shocking truth. These were murders, plain and simple. The affected families deserve this truth. Why were our loved ones taken from us, and who committed these egregious crimes? I stand here today, speaking for the many, those who lost their husbands, their wives, even their children and siblings. The police must reinvestigate this case. They cannot give up so easily, and they will have my full cooperation. There's one last thing I want to accomplish. This case will be closed before we leave. We will return to America enlightened. And to that end, I will move on to the subject of our world tour, and precisely what will happen next. I am proud to announce we will continue. The world tour will go on as it was planned.
The audience burst into conversation again. It seems that they weren't expecting this announcement.
We will do what Clace would have wanted. Instead of backing down, we persevere. Daz will head the tour in his place. She has greatly agreed to this burden. I cannot thank her enough. Surely, this is a monumental undertaking.
He motions to the woman with yellow hair. Oh, interesting. So that's who she was. It's Goku!
The launch will turn into a memorial, not just for Clace, but for everyone. Every person affected by these deaths. A series of his hits will be performed, but Daz will sing some new songs as well. Shock and Rocker will stay to help out. We, as a family, will honor the loss, as well as launch Daz's new career. Trust me, she is very talented.
That was definitely a lot to take in. I guess they have a steady supply of idols. She must be talented to follow in Clace's shadow.
I will open for questions one more time.
This will be my last question, Singe. But I'm asking this as a friend. Are you worried for the safety of Daz? And for the Lucky too? What if this culprit strikes again? What precautions have you taken?
Actually, I'm not worried about this at all. There is no evidence of us being targeted, but there is a little more to explain. In fact, I have one last announcement, and I have full clearance to reveal this. Please do not assume I am leaking any info. But have a seat while I continue.
Very well.
Now, this information is only known to me. I haven't revealed it to anybody, not even those involved in the tour.
What could it be? I notice Acheron shifts uncomfortably in his seat. Looks like he's annoyed at hearing this.
I will be keeping everybody in here. I won't allow them to leave this building, but this is for a very specific reason. And it involves Armstrong Incorporated.
Wait. He's keeping us in here? And what does this have to do with Armstrong? Acheron's ears perk up, and he looks visibly angry.
I know Maxine Armstrong piqued curiosity. Her arrival in Tokyo was quite mysterious. But today, we will reveal the truth. She gave me an offer when she arrived, and I wanted protection for everybody here, both by hired guards and technology. This is the sole reason she's in Tokyo. She offered us the best of her services. We are safe now, by so many means. It was all of our doing. Unfortunately, we couldn't protect Clace. I feel somewhat at fault for his death. I caved in under some pressure. I initially had him on a tight leash. I didn't want him getting into trouble, but people said I was being too harsh. I decided to give him some freedom, and then, look what it caused. I should have stuck with my gut feeling.
I remember hearing something about that yesterday. That Clace was being kept on a really tight leash. They said it was because the public was scared of him. Because the death started as soon as he arrived. I can see now that it was not the real reason. Singe was just trying to keep him safe from harm. I'm ashamed for not realizing that sooner. The expectation I heard earlier must have been lies. I don't think the public was scared of Clace at all. It seems that it was Singe who was scared all along.
I apologize for getting off track there, but it was my answer to your question. That is why I'm not worrying anymore. This time, I will keep the leash tight. Nobody will be allowed to leave on my watch. We will be under constant surveillance. Further harm will be impossible. Everybody will now be protected. This time I will stick to my instinct. I will trust in the guard I have hired, and I will trust in Armstrong Incorporated.
Acheron jumps out of his chair after hearing this. I can hear loud growls coming from his mouth. Oh boy. He's fuming, unable to contain his anger. He must have been holding this in for a while.
Singe, are you insane?
What?
Singe is definitely surprised at this interjection. The audience is as well, and they watch in fright.
Explain yourself at once, Acheron.
Think about what you're saying. You want to keep everybody inside, after you've lined this place with weapons. You turn us all into sitting ducks. Armstrong weapons can be hacked. They are not as foolproof as you think. Real manpower can never be replicated. You can't be serious about this, Singe. Everybody important to Clace is in here, and now they're surrounded by weapons. How could you be so foolish?
Acheron pushes Singe back against the wall. He holds him in place by his white coat, but Singe remains calm and collected. The audience gasps and watches in awe. I'm pretty sure he's going to be fired.
Of course, I read your psyche evaluation. A seething hatred for Maxine Armstrong. I should have expected this outburst. Acheron, I advise that you back down. You're only compromising your position. If I fire you, then she wins, right?
Compromise, you say? You're the one compromising everything. You just told the world how to kill us all. Hack some weapons, set them off. We all need to evacuate immediately.
Think logically, Acheron. These weapons are extremely high-tech. They can't be hacked as easily as you think.
Ah, not as easily. So, not impossible. So they can still be hacked.
They need authorization codes to set off. Only myself and Maxine know these codes. We both desire protection, Acheron. I will only use them if we are in danger. You believe I didn't think this through, but I'm not as stupid as you think. I know exactly what I'm doing here. These weapons are our last resort, in case your expertise fell through. And it looks like it might be starting too. I suggest that you let go of me. Return to your seat immediately, Acheron. You're only making a fool of yourself.
You don't understand it like I do, Singe. Weapons cannot keep people safe. People are supposed to keep each other safe.
You seem to be very worried, Acheron. You're scared of an infinitely small thing. A thing with almost impossible chances. Why do you hate Armstrong so much? What did they take away from you?
Acheron releases his grip, but not calmly. He lets out a sharp growl in Singe's direction, and then he returns to his seat with a look of shame. Singe dusts off his lab coat with his hands, as if the altercation had made him dirty.
I am terribly sorry for that, folks. As you can see, we're all under duress. Part of why we said no photography. We're not ready for the spotlight just yet. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Refrain from reporting that incident.
The audience nods in compliance. Oh, but that won't be the case.
But please, report everything else, including the involvement of Armstrong. We thought it was the right time to know.
Oh, but that also won't be the case.
She is here to protect, not to harm. This building is armed and ready, but not all of the weapons are lethal. We have non-lethal means as well. So this place is far from a death trap. I will not use the lethal weapons, that is, unless my hand is forced. We are protected in many, many ways, and both myself and Maxine share goals. We want everybody inside to stay alive. Thank you all for coming. Please leave of your own accord.
Singe bows to the audience and returns to his seat. They start to file out of the room. This was a lot to take in. I don't really know how I should feel. I mean, I'm a prisoner here now. I'm not allowed to leave? That's not really cool at all. And we're surrounded by weapons? It does make me feel a little uneasy. Was Singe certain they couldn't be hacked or set off? Acheron has been extremely smart and knowledgeable. Was this outburst as incorrect as Singe let on? Or were we potentially all in dangerous situations? I take a deep breath and try to relax. By the time I'm calm, the room is empty, save for those who are involved with the tour. After a few months pass, Singe turns to me. This is the first time he's addressed me directly. Well, he tries to address Keela as well, but it seems like he's lost in thought again.
Well, that was a rather eventful conference. Never a shortage of quality entertainment.
He smiles at us, seeming a lot more calm. Or perhaps it's like he's less professional. I guess he can relax a little after a speech like that. Being professional all the time would get tiring. Fast.
I'm sorry about a meeting like this. The circumstances are less than ideal. I was really looking forward to this.
So, you're the leader then? The one in charge of all this?
I guess you could say that. But diligentation is my expertise. That's why I have people like Rook and Jade. I could never do all this by myself. I cave under the pressure pretty quick. Managerial duties are less than forgiving.
I have to ask, why lock us up? Do you really think that's a good idea?
At first, I thought it was, but now I feel like it won't be easy. At least, not while Acheron is here.
Are you gonna get rid of him then?
No, of course not. He's acclaimed the entire world over. There's no better candidate for this. Whether we agree with each other, though, it doesn't matter. He'll get the job done. He'd never risk his flawless resume. But I'd love to talk more personally. Would you do stop by my office? It's better with less prying ears. We have much to discuss together, and I'm sure you have many questions.
I definitely do. Like,
Not here, Keela, but I'll happily answer them in my office. For your reference, it's room 2A.
Keela nods, and I do as well. It was definitely cool to be talking to the ringleader. I feel like he's been able to answer all of our questions. There was more going on behind the scenes, for sure. But I wonder, would he be sending us home? Or would we just tour with Daz instead? He gives us another smile before walking away. Well, I guess I know where we're going, but I still have some stuff to think about. Meet me in front of 2A when you're ready. Keela walks away and exits the room. Everyone else must have left while we were talking, because now the room's completely empty. I wonder what's bothering him so much. He's taken an interesting turn in the last little bit. I think he said something about his past. He seemed uncool with getting involved in the media. Perhaps that's what he wanted to talk to Singe about. I step down from the stage and see someone there. I could have sworn the room was empty just a moment ago, but it's a familiar face, so I go in to greet them. Hey! It's Eclair! Hey girl, what's up? Wait, it's Eclair. What is she doing here?
Oh, I hope he didn't see me. Hi, Taylor.
Hey girl! Her shoulders are slouched down, her posture poor. Oh, what's up? She seems to be an odd combination of scared and sad. But I know who she was talking about. It was Rook. I ask her what she's doing here.
Well, I heard about what happened last night. I rushed over from the work as soon as I could.
That explains why she's still holding her stuff. Yeah, why didn't you just set that down? Instead of... Okay.
But I didn't come here for about Clays. I actually came here for Rook, you know? I wanted to see how he was holding up. Wow, that sounds kind of rude, doesn't it? I mean, I definitely care about Clays. But I wanted... No, I needed to see Rook. Does that make me a bad person? I mean, everyone else here came for Clays. But here I am. Only care about Rook.
You're not a bad person. You're not. Of course she's not a bad person. Death is like throwing a stone into a pond. It causes ripples and waves in lots of places. It's a powerful force, and she's not in the wrong. She lets out a soft smile when I say this to her.
Sorry if I put you on the spot. I guess I just need some sort of feedback. Rook handles this stuff quite differently. I mean, I did tell you a little bit, so I'm hoping you understand my situation. I didn't want him reacting the same way. Singe's organization needs Rook, just like Cafe Chat needs Rook. When he's gone, things get chaotic. I just wanted to see his face. That expression can say a lot, you know? I wasn't expecting him to notice me. I just wanted to take a look, that's all. For some reason, I thought it'd help. But I was wrong. It didn't help. It just made things more confusing. His face looked the same as always. I'd call it something like a cold steel. Something that says, stay away from me. In fact, it looked like he was unfazed. But that couldn't be right, could it? I'm worried about what he might do.
She did care about Rook a whole lot, I'll admit. But I start to wonder if maybe it was too much. She's obsessed over the dude. From my understanding, they've been out of contact. So then, why was she talking about him? He barely talks to her, which makes it weird. Was she a little obsessed?
Sorry for rambling on, Taylor. I just didn't want to ditch Singe. Everyone needs to stick together here. You don't need to lose another person. Things are hard enough as it is. And as I said, Rook is important.
I'm messing up her voice so much. I don't remember what I did for her voice before.
Either way, I'm glad I ran into you. It was nice to talk about things again. But yeah, I still owe you something. But this time, you have my word. I won't stop until you're satisfied.
Oh ho ho ho. Ooh ho ho ho. Ooh. Spicy.
Oh, one more thing before I go. I want to ask you something about this. Do you think people can make up? You know, rebuild broken bridges? Or do you think it's a lost cause? You seem like a smart person, Taylor. Am I being reasonable or emotional?
Oh boy. I mean, it has happened before. People do make up, but not a lot from what I see. From how Rook is, just personally by Rook, I think it's just a lost cause. Oh man, Eclair's hope is shut down. Sorry, but it's Rook. What do you expect? I think she needs a cold hard dose of reality. People move on. They stop being friends. Life has a way of making people disconnect. She's clinging to the past, and that's bad. I told her that perhaps she could look to the future. Life is what you make of it, not what was made. She's idolizing the past, and she needs the truth. Time changes. People change. We all drift apart. I think I articulate my agreement very well.
Oh, so it was wishful thinking. So part of me hoped it was possible, but I guess it was just a pipe dream. I'd say that coming here was a mistake. But then again, I did get to see you. You helped me make sense of everything. And if I'm not to focus on the future, I'll make Cafe Chat the best it can be. Just you wait what I have in store.
Oh, I'll wait. I'll wait.
It's going to blow you away, you'll see.
Oh, baby. She seems really happy to being shut down like that. Is she putting on some sort of act for me? Oh, please don't. I want to know that you're happy, at least. Come on, Eclair.
Well, I guess I better get going. I'm sure you have important stuff to do. Contest to win, stuff like that. I'll see you around, Mr. Lucky.
She slowly walks away. There's something in the way she moves. It's like she's happy. More yesto than yesterday. I should tell Keela that we might go back to Cafe Chat. Oh, we definitely going back. He'd probably enjoy hearing that. And that's where I'm going to end off this episode. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hasta la vista, baby.